Episode number 9.
Well, go on.
What's good?
The boys are back again. Still friends after last week's episode where Eli and my brother got into it, got heated over the talk of black slaves moving into Britain. The historian Eli was not having any of it, in short. So we'll pick that slightly up, I guess. I just want to carry on with that conversation. Funnily enough, by chance, all 4 of us in the car have some black in us, so we're all part of the black community to some extent. And I wanted to get your opinions on how you feel drill music not only affects the black community, but culture full stop. And whether or not you think it's good, you think it's negative. The reason why I ask, I was watching Good Morning Britain, and Skepta was actually on that. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
But that's a big looker, like. You don't think like Skepta on like a formal TV show like that?
What was he saying?
They're just asking him about the new album, Ignorance is Bliss. And they were sort of saying like, how do you feel drill music, grime music is affecting young kids today and the young people, stuff like that. And they said, is that not sort of causing any of the violence within younger kids like these days? And obviously he was like, nah, like it's one of them ones, the music's what's getting them out of the hood or whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it'd just be interesting to get your perspectives on how you think that music is affecting the culture.
Well, I agree. I think the music gets a lot of them men out of the hood. Even the songs that are like, because there are songs in drill that are basically like diss tracks, basically saying like, I stabbed up your guy, and do you know what I mean, in a discreet way. Or depicting violence that they took upon an opposition gang. But if that song blows up, then they can actually see to themselves, actually, I'm talented. Although the first song that blew for me was a song about like me stabbing an opposition gang member, like, and obviously that could spark more violence. The attention that it gets is gonna be something that could then inspire them to give up the gang shit and go towards the music.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't really agree with like the media blaming it. I mean, gosh, I'm slightly older. I mean, when I was 18, people were stabbing people. People were robbing people. There was no drill music back then. You know.
Yeah, but the thing is,
YouTube.
They're saying that more people are getting stabbed now.
Says who, man?
Statistics.
How though? Like how? How and when?
Is that the case? The statistic?
I haven't seen the stats myself, but I'm just saying this is what
from my understanding, right? Around the time like I was like 13 or 14, so like 10 years ago, yeah. Knife crime was at an all-time high in London, innit? Then they put mad measures in, like a lot more police on the streets, like they did like the stop and search shit, which got overboard, innit? Like, and then they had to take a step back. But by the time they took the step back, there was a lot less knives on the road again, and things had calmed down. And then the last 2 or 3 years, it's picked up again, innit? Like it's actually picked up from say, I don't know, it's 2019 now. So let's say like, I think from around 2012 to 2016, the knife crime thing had kind of stopped, innit? It got like, well, it didn't stop, but it got less, innit? Like it definitely reduced. And then from 2016 onwards to now, the last kind of 3 years, it's picked up again. There's been a lot more gang violence again. And I don't know if it's just like a new generational thing or what. But I just think like, I don't know what's going on now. Like,
I think it's just something to blame.
What, the music?
Yeah, just something to blame. Like they don't really want to go to the real issue. Like there's a documentary back in the day called Bowling for Columbine, right? And I forgot the guy who directed it. Yeah, some famous whatever director. Yeah, and it was about these 2 guys that shot up their school
in Columbine.
In Columbine, and committed suicide straight after. And they were blaming heavy metal, Marilyn Manson, and and everything like that. And the point of the documentary, he was like, what was the thing that they were doing right before they went to the school to shoot the people? And they were bowling. So he was just saying, why didn't anyone look at bowling as an issue? It was the activity that they were doing right before they went to the school. So they done their bowling and then they went to the school to go shoot up these people. They weren't listening to no heavy metal music or anything like that. Like they didn't just come back from like a show or anything like that. They were doing bowling. So he's like, why didn't anyone say, well, like what kind of effect does bowling have to you may look at it and giggle, but no one actually looked at it. No one actually looked at it, but everyone was quick to go like this and that. And it's just nonsense, really. Like it's just nonsense, really. Like these guys are expressing themselves. For sure that there's violence, but like I said, like there's always been gang and violence been going on from Wade, you know what I mean? From as long as I can remember, man.
See, certain songs are getting blocked in drill music because of like it's inciting violence, or it's basically talking about like violence that was committed on other gangs, like from like the opposition gangs that they're rapping about, like the murders that they did on opposition gang members and shit like that, and then that's causing people from that area who hear the song to get angry and and retaliate. So YouTube and the police have been like pulling down those songs and like banning them and shit like that, and I think that's kind of understandable. Obviously, like I don't condone like gang violence, innit? Do you know what I mean? At all. But at the same time, I think like a lot of the time, like the music is just it's like a
scapegoat.
It's it's a scapegoat for the media to like complain about. Do you know what I mean? And try and stop like what is the majority of black people getting money in it and getting a bag. But I think the music is like a reflection of life, and I don't think it's the cause. I don't think the music is the cause of the violence. I think the social environment that these people are raised in is the cause of the violence. Do you know what I mean? And like the school system and all those different
just
things.
activities, man. You know.
Here's a fucking good question. If you were in a position of power to make changes in those communities, those impoverished communities, or those communities basically where people don't have that much money, stuff like that, what changes would you make? Like, what would you do?
I'd open youth centres. Do
you think the youth centres help?
In youth centres, yeah. Like my dad always bangs on about youth centres and how much fun he had at youth centres and how great it was and da-di-da-di-da. And I've always felt like if more people had a place to go to socialise outside of school and learn things indirectly, like learn that there's other ways besides the school system to make money, learn how to protect yourself. Because when I say youth centres, like, I have this crazy idea that like somebody opens up hundreds of youth centres around London, and not only is it a place for people to go and play ping pong and play PS4 or whatever, but it's also a place for them to learn something like a martial art, something that they can then walk out of the youth centre, feel a little bit better about themselves, carry themselves a little bit more confidently. Because you and I both know exactly what that feels like. Like it changes you as a person. You don't feel the need. You don't have as much of an ego anymore. You don't feel the need to prove yourself. You don't have as much of a chip on your shoulder. You're just you. Like you're relaxed. You're a lot more chilled. You're just you. So that's what I would do. I would start a huge initiative, open youth centres, just places for people to go, safe havens for people to go. You have to get, like, it's like airport security to get in. There's no tools being carried in there. It's like everywhere, every one of them's like Switzerland, for example. So it doesn't matter who reps for who. If you're in there, like, nothing can happen. It's something that would be extremely expensive, and it's not something that I don't think the British government will do anytime soon, but that's what I would do.
Is that part of your legacy that you don't want to leave behind, per se?
Depends on certain things.
On what?
Depends on certain things. That's it. Like, that would be me taking it completely off topic if I said on what.
Take it there, man.
Yeah, take it there. You open the can of worms. So,
like, obviously, we discussed it the other day. Like, I want to own a football club.
Yeah,
I'd love to run a football club. However, like that's goal one. So if that's not achieved, well, that will be with the idea that is achieved, then I wouldn't be able to pursue that goal or idea, should I say, because it's not really a goal of mine, but I wouldn't be able to pursue that idea until that one's achieved.
What do you do, like?
Yeah, kind of similar to like what Brandon said, like, you know, like youth clubs, just teach them something, you know, like teach them about trading or do like book clubs, stuff like that, you know.
That's the biggest thing for me. Sorry to cut you off, Karen.
Yeah, just stuff like that, you know, just and what Brandon says is very important, like there's more ways to make money outside of school.
Like,
Maths, English and science, like of course these things are important, right? You need to know how to, I mean, to a certain degree, gosh, man, I mean, like, even Floyd Mayweather can't even read, man. The heck, like, but the guy's worth more than all of them. So, like, as long as you just get a skill, and that's the main thing, just get skills. Just get your skills up, man. Whether, even if you need to put, like, whatever, like, mechanic, engineer, whatever you need to do, like, just get a skill and just do that skill, because these guys are talented. Like, these guys are, like, look how much it takes to really do these drill musics. Like, you got to get a guy that produces the beat. You got to get a guy that records it. You got to have the guy with the lyrics. You got to get a guy to record it and edit it. These are talented people. These are talented people.
Even if you think on, like, this is quite controversial as well, yeah, but you guys definitely understand what I say. Like, even when it comes to, like, selling drugs and shit like that. Like, these are some serious entrepreneurial guys.
100%.
That takes a real business mind.
Like,
It's a
approaching
skill.
people, getting telephone numbers, adding it to the phone, dialing them out, sending out mass text messages.
Like, regardless of how you sugarcoat
Of the re-up.
you're buying and selling a product, and you're
Supply and
making a profit.
demand.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
that takes some talent. There's no two ways about it. That takes some talent. Not just anybody can do it. That's why not everybody does it.
I think where these guys fall off, yeah, a lot of them who do shit like that, like, they just take it a step too far. That's what they do. Like, if they took their drug money and buy the neighborhood, yeah, like Jay-Z said, they could be Jay. Do you know what I mean? And there's a Pusha T bar. It's so hard, isn't it? I don't know what it is. It's something along the lines of, like, you can't take a sort of like a smart guy.
I think he says you can't take a rapper and make him a trapper.
Yeah.
But you can take the trap.
A trapper. And
A trapper can turn into Puff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. A rapper turned trapper can't something. That's the point is, basically, that if you're fucking smart enough, yeah, and you're doing some grease on the roads at the moment, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but you need to be smart.
Yeah, it's just about channeling the energy. Because it's like we said, like, you're buying and selling a product. And you can buy, there's so many products out there that you can buy and sell legally. You can buy and sell whips, you can buy and sell mopeds, buy and sell yards if you've got enough P, or you can buy and sell anything.
Disclaimer, yeah, for YouTube, the government out there, I don't condone people breaking the laws of their own country. Wherever you are, obey the laws of the land. That's my disclaimer, bruv. You know what I mean? What do you think? What would you change? So if you were in that community, what would you like to see done, or what do you plan to do in the future to help out?
I think they should first of all legalise the herbs, yeah. You know what I mean? For the people there, innit?
But how much crime would that reduce to?
So much, man.
You think?
Think about it, everyone who shots draw can't shot draw anymore, because you're not going to buy off a guy on the corner when you can go to a calf and choose your strain, choose how much THC you want.
Or maybe the man on the corner who has the grow houses and shit like that invests in a little shop or
Yeah,
something.
like a set up shop, innit?
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because
And if you want it delivered to your yard, just hire a man, innit?
Uber Eats, fam.
Just hire guys. Like, to be fair, like we were saying earlier, when we were going past Starbucks, like, I mean, like, I consider coffee a drug. It's just that it's legal, you know.
Well, sugar's just addictive as cocaine.
You know what I mean?
Science
Like,
has
so
proved
it's just
that.
like it just happens to be illegal on the list. Yeah. So if that was to just change tomorrow overnight,
fuck it, I'm gonna say some mad shit, yeah. Legalize all drugs, fam. Cause what's the harm to people, fam? Like what's the harm to people? Like, they're taking it themselves, innit? So like, it's let everyone have the choice, innit? Like, if you wanna take Molly or take Coke, fam, because people can take it anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, if people want to take it, they're gonna take it. Just because like someone says, oh, it's illegal, like, well, like I can call a guy and I get it straight.
Yeah, but
I get what you're saying. It's better to have it regulated than to have it out of control like it is now.
Yeah, that's what I think. Just legalize all that shit, bro. They done that shit in Portugal.
mate, but like the certain drugs that people are not doing because they're not legal and you can't get hold of them.
Well, so you're telling me
That's
that
positive.
You're telling me that if like what? So you're telling me that if like coke was legal, you sniff a line, bro?
No, but I'm just saying because
Would you
it's
be more inclined?
Huh? Yeah, exactly. You are more inclined.
You think you'd be more inclined?
Huh? Not mentally, but physically in the world. If it's more accessible, then yeah, I'll be more inclined, definitely. And that shit will fuck me up. Do you know what I mean? I have a nose like some buck nose, pretty much. Do you know what I mean? Heroin, bruv. Heroin, legal.
I don't know about drugs that the body itself can become addicted to, because like that's the whole argument behind weed. Is like the body doesn't physically get addicted to it, whereas opium, in heroin, your body like you take it, you stop using it, and you get withdrawal symptoms. Your body reacts because it's not getting opium anymore.
What about like alcohol?
Yeah, see, that's worse than draw. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That's worse than draw. If you're someone who drinks alcohol and you look down on people that smoke weed, you need to look in the mirror. Thank you.
What are your thoughts on draw, Eli? Because obviously you don't piff draw, but like yeah.
I don't know. Like I mean, it's just. I mean, I know a lot of people that and I've worked with a lot of people. It just depends on how you use it, right? I don't know, like I'm just. If you wanna smoke it, then by all means smoke it. But what I don't, and this is just personal to me, like this is personal to me. So I know I'm upset a bunch of people, but like I already know that with this, but I don't think, or I don't subscribe to having to smoke weed in particular to become creative. That's my whole thing. Like I think you should just be creative naturally, or go through a process to be creative. That's me. Think that is my personal view in it. I know a lot of people say, "Oh man, I need to smoke it. That's how I come up with this creative thing or that creative thing." But I don't know. Like I just think that if you're truly creative, man, you should really just sit down and just just let an idea develop naturally. Because it's not really you, then, is it? Like it's not really you. Like it's a bit of an assistance. Now you may need some assistance, but I don't know. Like just for people that say that they need it in order to do their job or to do their work, that's a bit much. It's not like air or what I mean, like food or water. But if you're putting that much
power, giving it that much power.
Yeah, see, I don't even see.
I don't see it as an essential. But if someone's like, and you hear it all the time, like, oh yeah, like that's what makes me creative, or that's what made me come up with the idea, or I thought of that idea when I was high.
See, me, I can understand that because I'm that kind of person. It kind of works for me because like my mind is quite fast paced inside my head. It's quite fast paced with thoughts. Sometimes when I smoke weed, it slows down a little bit. It will slow to maybe the right speed where I then can have a creative process, or all of the creative thoughts that I have kind of rise to the surface. Do you know what I mean?
See, I feel like I can't I agree with what you're saying. I do agree. I don't think you should need anything besides the bare necessities as humans: food and water and air. You shouldn't feel like you need anything else to do anything, because then you're reliant on an external source for you to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, I don't think you need it. I don't think you need it.
That is, I don't rate that. Like, if you feel like you need something externally, like some people feel like they need alcohol, some people feel like they need draw. To me, that's tapped. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, you fucked up somewhere for the fact that you feel like you need it. As for the whole creative process, yeah, like I'm kind of, I can't lie, I'm kind of similar to Khalifa. I'm not much of a creative person. However, the way he depicted it is exactly how I feel when I get high at night on my own as well. I slow my mind down to the point where things can rise to the surface, and then I can let them out. Because I do all my writing late at night when I'm high as shit, and I can't put anything onto paper. Well, I can't say I can't, but it doesn't flow as well, and the ideas don't come to me as well as when I am high. But however, I wouldn't say I need to be here. It's a weird
I wouldn't say that I need it. I think you know what, yeah. I think like with weed, yes, when you smoke it, you get mindfulness in it. Do you know what I mean? So like people talk about alternatives and stuff, like natural alternatives. Like a natural alternative would be like meditation or some shit like that. Like sometimes I come out of yoga and I have that same slow pace of mind that I would if I smoked a spliff. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like that clear in my mind, or like creative ideas are coming out of me. Or even like if I have like another thing that I find as a natural thing is like I have a really hot sauna, I'm in there for like 20 minutes and then I have a cold shower straight after. That's like a reset on my brain. Like it's all of a sudden I feel clear, like fresh.
Why do you smoke weed?
Why do I smoke weed? I think like weed can make things more enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? Like if you watch a movie when you're high, you enjoy it more because you're in a more of a mindful headspace. So you take in all the different elements that are going on. It's easier for you to follow the plot line, or like you're listening to songs or watching like music videos, and all the details of the video and the songs start to make sense as to why they did it that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, right, this just makes sense. Like whereas if you watch it when you're sober, you're just a bit kind of your mind's probably elsewhere on other things. When you smoke, it helps you concentrate on the matter at hand, innit? So if you're eating some really good food, like some fruit or some shit like that after you smoked, like you're enjoying like the textures of the fruit, fam. Do you know what I mean? And the flavors. Do you know what I mean? Like, or you're watching a film, you're taking in the scene and the acting and all the facial expressions of the characters and everything. So that's why it makes things more enjoyable. And it's like a form of meditation, a form of mindfulness. That's what I think people get from it.
Do you think that weed, Brandon, is more of a negative or a positive to somebody?
It's all about you.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's all about you, man.
You think it's a personal thing?
Yeah, you can be a bum and be a stoner, and you can be Wiz Khalifa and be the biggest stoner in the world.
But do you think he would be more productive if he wasn't smoking, though?
It's not for me to say. I have to sit on the fence on that one. It's not for me to say because he's successful with it. He's successful with his current strategy. He's successful. He was recently on the Joe Rogan podcast and he openly said like he can't function without piffing. I don't think that's right. However, who am I to tell a multi-platinum selling rapper that he's wrong and he's doing something wrong? You know what I mean?
I agree.
However, to the low life who's sitting at home not doing nothing with their life, just waking up, getting high, chilling, playing games or looking on the internet, not going out and doing something with their life, then like you need to fix up, fam. You need to fix up. You can keep smoking, but you need to fix up. Because I had that issue once. Once upon a time I had that issue. I thought, oh shit, smoking's bad for me. When I smoke, the next day I'm a bit lethargic and lazy and it kind of fucks with my head and la-di-da-di-da. And I realised that the problem was me, fam. The problem was me. I was in a bad place. Not a bad place, but I was just unmotivated, lazy.
So what did you do to change that then? Because I noticed like from then till now, you stopped smoking a little bit. Well, you're not smoking as much as you were previously.
Bro, I smoke more than I've ever smoked before, fam.
At the moment?
Yeah, I smoke every night.
Really?
It's very rarely that I don't smoke. Yeah, because I'm an end of the day guy. I've done everything that I need to do. I'm chilling on my ones at home. Best believe I'm getting lit. Straight up. But you'll see me in the gym the next morning, light work.
Yeah, you have to have that balance, man. Do you know what I mean? If you are going to piff it like every night, then you have to be in the gym the next day, like waking yourself up, you know what I mean? Getting the blood flowing and stuff like that.
But that's what worked for me. It's different for everybody else.
Yeah, I think it's very personal, man. Like even my relationship with it is like, I went through the stage where I used to, I've always been a bit of a, sat just on the fence. Like I'll do it, but I'll not do it every night. Do you know what I mean? So my relationship, I feel like what you said hit the nail on the head really. You need to find a balance on what works for you as an individual. For me, I'm not productive when I do it. Do you know what I mean? So my rule is if I got shit to do the next day, i.e. going to work, I'm not going to do it. I need a day to recover, let it leave my system, go back to normal per se, and then I can carry on and smash my week out. But saying that, I think when I am high, I think it does make stuff more enjoyable. Being creative, it just slumps me, man. Yeah. It just makes me super tired, man.
See, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, what is it for you about? Like, why do you get high? Because I found Khalifa's answer interesting. Because my answer is very different.
For me, it's like just just relaxing. That's more than anything. Like my week is full on. Do you know what I mean? From the moment I wake up to the moment I go bed throughout the week, I'm going in. I'm either editing vlogs, thinking of ideas for podcasts, working, trading, going gym, like trying to manage all of that. Something has to give at some point. And I need that time to switch off, do something a bit more mindless or mindful, however you look at it. And yeah, my advice would be something like smoking weed. Do you know what I mean? Alcohol don't really do it for me, and it's never really has. Do you know what I mean? Some people are on the alcohol thing, and cool, fair enough, that's you. Like some people, they just love a glass of red wine at the end of the week or whatever. For me, it would just be, let me get my thing there. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Holler the boy at 11:30. Like, yo, what are you saying? You got man patterned up, yeah? It's needed, innit? Boom, and that's me. That would set me for the night. I wake up the next morning, do what I gotta do, and carry on. Do you know what I mean? But one thing I would say that I wanted to say, and this has always been something that I've said, yeah, if you're addicted either way, let's say you're addicted to alcohol, yeah, properly, like you're alcoholic, like you go to the pub, bare, yeah, or let's say you're addicted to draw. There's man out there, don't ever try to tell me, yeah, you're not addicted to draw. If you do it and it's fucking up your life, like you were saying, that guy who's just sitting at yard not really doing too much and shit like that, the draw's fucking you up. Same way the alcohol's fucking certain man up as well, innit, yeah? Or girls as well, yeah, obviously, podcasting, trying to be bi general or whatever the fucking shit is, yeah. My point is gender neutral. Yeah, I'm trying to be gender neutral. So if you're a girl or a guy, yeah, and you're stuck on one of them things and you're not really doing much, yeah, try switch over to the other thing. That's what I would say. To the people who love drinking so much, yeah, why don't you start smoking weed? Do you know what I mean? You're not going to want to do it as much.
Well, what, as well?
No, instead of getting drunk all the time, why don't you start smoking weed instead? Try it out. Because you're not going to do it as much.
Because you don't enjoy it as much.
You don't enjoy it as much. Do you know what I mean?
Still an escape.
Yeah, and it's still an escape. Because, like, if I was to replace every single time that I smoke weed with drinking alcohol, I'll be sober pretty much all the time because I'm not on it like that. Do you know what I mean? So I would say, I don't know, man. As an experiment, yeah, check yourself before you wreck yourself and try it out, man. That's what I would say, man.
So it's an interesting one.
So obviously we've had a week to reflect on our boy AJ, man, losing the belts. There's a lot of smoke that has come his way and Eddie Hearn's way as well. What do you make of the reaction to the loss and the hate that's been received?
Has AJ been getting a lot of hate?
So much hate. Yeah, people have been blazing him like, you're never the real thing, you're a bodybuilder.
Well, that's wild.
Instagram model.
Yeah, Instagram model, like professional boxers, like we're talking legends of the sport.
Because people are saying like he's doing all that shit with like the ropes.
The battle ropes, fam.
Yeah, saying he's a fitness model, fam.
Yeah, he needs to stop doing battle ropes.
These men ain't never been in a model gym, fam.
No, I think it was to be expected. I think, like, I look at AJ and I say to myself, like, imagine if someone like Mayweather had lost.
It
would have been he never would have got over it. The thing with AJ, which was a bit different, is that he was a cool, like, you know, like his persona was cool, you know, in the public eye. Like, in the public eye, it was cool. So if you're talking bad about him, I like, you know, some guys just happy to see a guy lose, you know.
See, I just don't get that mindset, yeah, and that's something that Eddie Hearn said in an interview last or a couple days ago, and he said it's like that British mentality, you know what I mean? Like, you're always like trying to bring someone down.
Britain is a negative country, man.
Why is that though?
We're one of the most, aren't we one of the most, well, if not one of the most, but I'm pretty sure we're in the mix of like some of the most depressed countries in the world. So there's your explanation. Like, you project what you think of yourself onto others, and if you're one of the most depressed countries in the world, whenever you see your golden boy fall, you're going to project the shit where you think about yourself and feel about yourself onto him. So that's what I think it is. It's a pathetic mindset, if you ask me. Like, if you're bashing AJ for that loss, you're just a waste man, in my opinion. And I know there's going to be people that watch this that have bashed him, and yes, you're a waste man, in my opinion.
Like, I was upset when he lost.
Because, like, you can't...
Halfway intermission, we're back. Sorry to cut you off, Brandon. talking about people bashing AJ.
Yeah, it's just like that's such a weak state of mind. Like I'm a firm believer in that you can't achieve anything if you think negatively about it. So like for example, you look at somebody successful like AJ, right? Those same people that bash him will probably be the same people like, yeah, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be this, I want to be that. But you're bashing a millionaire. You're bashing somebody who's successful, who constantly overcomes.
It won't come your way.
Exactly.
It won't come your way.
You don't even realize it, but you're making yourself not like that success.
But have you ever struggled, not struggled per se, like had to struggle with it, ever felt jealous in a sense of somebody who's successful and hated on them, maybe even in thought? You might not have projected it, you might not have said it, but you might have thought, right, I don't want that guy to do well.
Not that I can remember, and I have to give a shout out to Raj for this one, because like ever since being heavily influenced by him and his like way of thinking, from like when did you put me onto him, like 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, that's kind of the way I thought about things. So I can't remember everything. I probably have. I almost guarantee that I had prior to that. But honestly, like in terms of what I can remember, I can't remember, man. Because, it doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. Bro. It doesn't make sense to me. What about you guys?
No, like I mean, because like, I'm big on karma as well. Just like what you said. I mean, if I'm hating someone for there being success, like then I just don't think success can come my way. You know what I mean? I like seeing successful people. I like seeing their stories, what they've done to get the money. You know what I mean? And try and take a leaf, you know, like a page out of their book, you know? I mean, like me and Carter at one point worked in a place where there was a lot of haters. And it just gets depressing. It just gets depressing. Like, you know, like you can't build your life like that, you know? And it's not really good. And you just want to get away from that. You know, someone's successful, so now it's just negative, like, towards them. However, just like what you said, this is the same person that would want success for themselves, you know?
Or say they want it.
Or say they want it, you know? And it's just, like, how can you say it, but you have to live it at the same time, you know?
What about you, Kay?
Yeah, my experience with successful people is that a majority of them that I encounter are, like, the most, like, friendly, kind-hearted people that I meet. Do you know what I mean? And I've also worked in places where it's filled with like negative kind of hater type people, and I always think to myself, like, they're not going to get really far with that mentality. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of resonate with successful people to be successful. There's a reason why that energy that they're on is like they all share like a similar frequency. Do you know what I mean? And if you're not on that, then how are you going to be successful? Do you know what I mean?
So, in that sense, obviously now, like, it's like I was saying this today when we went for a sauna. Like, we've been on the grind, like us 4 guys, for a long time now. It's probably been about 4 years. Us man been on the grind together in a way, yeah. We were all part of different friendship groups and shit previously. How did you break free, in a sense? That sounds so negative to maybe the people that you were friends with before, but it's not meant like that. But it's more like, what made you
distance yourself?
Yeah, that's a touchy one.
I don't know. I'll start off by saying, like, you have to just be realistic with yourself sometimes, and you have to again look in the mirror, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, and like Michael Jackson said, ask him to change his ways, fam. Look at the man in the mirror and ask him to change his ways, fam. Because, you know, like, you're looking at yourself, you start thinking, okay, like, this is me, these are my people, this is what how I spend my time. Do you know what I'm saying? And you start to realize, like, oh, what do I think about this person, and like what are they on, and do you know what I mean? Like, what influence do they have on me? Do you know what I mean? And when you start to kind of peel back the layers of your life, you can then start to sort of recognize different things, and that can then make it easier for you to separate yourself from them people. Because if you really want things, or you want to be put in positions, you have to be a leader. Like, you have to be the leader of your own life, innit? You don't necessarily, obviously, like, yeah, so you have to be a leader of other people or whatever. That's a strong quality to have, or to be, or whatever. But like, you have to, first and foremost, before anything, be a leader of your own life. Like, don't just be some person that's like a bandwagoner. And in life, there is a lot of people that are bandwagoners, and, you know, like, because of their social group and who they grew up with, they they stay in that lane instead of like coming outside of it. Like I don't know. I had this the other day. Some next guy say that he's like, oh, that's. He wanted to buy a scarf in my shop, yeah, and the scarf is silk. And he said, oh, that material's sick still. Like, silk is obviously nice. It's got like a bit of a shine to it, yeah? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. It's silk. It's 100% silk. And he's like, oh, I can't wear that. That's a women's material. Or some shit like that. Or men can't wear silk. So I had to ask him. I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, where did you hear that? And he's like, oh, no, it's just a thing, innit? So I was definitely, in my mind, it felt like it was something that was preconceived or something that he must have heard somewhere and he's just held it inside of him. Even though, like, a minute before I told him it, he would have worn it and he would have bought it. The minute I told him it was silk, he was like, oh, I can't wear that, it's silk. But you liked it. You wanted to wear it. So these social conditioning or whatever it is, like, these unwritten rules in a social group can hold you back from actually living the movie that you want to live, innit? And just being free and, like, inspired. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? Yeah, my experience is quite different. For me, it was never a case of like I'm gonna leave man behind and da da da. Do you get what I'm saying? It was never ever that. For me, it was more like I just started studying and evolving, and like what I wanted to do with my time just meant that I was in a different place. If that makes sense. Do you get what I'm saying?
Like quite literally.
Literally, like physically. Instead of like chilling or whatever, yeah, I was at the gym, for example. So my location was different. Or I was, I don't know, just like thinking of ideas and reading and doing stuff by myself. And that in turn over time just turned into a thing where I was no longer
available.
Yeah, in a sense. And I think that was my main experience with it. I don't know if it was different for you. Obviously we were same. It wasn't like I made a conscious effort like, fuck these guys or whatever, you know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying that though. Like when I say look in the mirror, I say like you can maybe look in the mirror and say, oh yeah, this, that and the third. But like it's mainly for yourself, innit? And say, oh like actually like I really want to do this, so I'm just gonna pursue that. And then yeah, you do end up in the next place. Do you know what I mean? You do end up spending more time in the gym where the other guy might be spending time in McDonald's, you know what I mean?
To be fair, Eli, yeah, I've heard you say something different. Like I heard you had one of them moments where it's just like I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, it was a tricky one, like, cause I just remember like me and my lot like went to a party one time, like some house party. It was nice, it was cool. I was there, I was chatting to one girl, and one of the guys that was like I would consider like one of my friends, not ultra close, but just one of my friends, just interrupted me like and just basically just went to the girl, was like no, like don't talk to him. And I was like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what? Like, what's that about? Completely blocked me off, innit? And I thought that was just madness. So I was just like, so after the event happened, I was just like, bro, like, why did you do that? And one of my good friends at that time kind of supported him. Was like, or not supported him, but just like, oh, that's not a big deal. And I just said straight, I said, look, like if you don't find this a big deal, like, or that's an issue, like, I don't need that, you know, like, I'm just going to go in it. It kind of coincided as well with me getting into debt. Because when I got into debt, I was so focused on getting out of debt, I didn't go out anywhere. I didn't do nothing, you know. Didn't even get a haircut for a year. So when there was loads of motives and people going out, going here, going there, I was nowhere to be seen, you know. So obviously, like, you spend a year or two not checking anybody or like not going out or not going to the events, like just naturally, like, you know what I mean, like everyone's just gonna go their own separate way, innit, and naturally. So, but I did look at that situation that happened at that party one time. I just had to look around and I was just like, no, like that's not really like some kind of like friend, like kind of situation kind of a thing, you know. That's like the real like watered down version. Like it's a lot deeper than that, but it just didn't like, I was like, this is not what friends do kind of a thing. I know I know it's a girl and you're talking to a girl and some guys make
that's out of order, because like you're trying to move to a girl and like become more sociable and put yourself out there, and you got a man coming along and basically shitting on your cake, fam, you know what I mean, like shitting on what you're trying to do, you know what I mean. So I just think that's out of order, man. Like you should have people that are supporting like what you're trying to do, and even if it is chatting to a girl, bro, it takes a lot to plug up the courage to like move to her thing. So the fact that man tried like fucked out for you is just out of order, innit?
3-second rule, innit, man? Oh, man. We're going to have to cut this one short anyway. Everybody's got a few things to do on this fine day. Bit more of a shorter episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Gonna keep it locked. We'll see you next week. Plug your stuff.
At Kalevagram. KALEVAGRAM.
Eli. Nothing yet. Soon come.
I hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Oh my god.
Like,
Nico
comment,
Brandon,
subscribe.
fam. Nico Brandon.
Have a good day.